My name is Sylvia Carvajal. I am the author of Women Aren't from Venus, Men Are Pigs. At this time we are doing a documentary short about the book with women talking about their relationships with the men in their lives. Our goal is to make a feature film, and we are looking for investors to help fund our project.
Some of the things that that women forget about themselves and how special they are, how unique they are. It also goes into some of the things that we can accomplish on our own. I remember years ago when I got divorced, and during my mediation, my ex-husband told me, "You'll never make it without me," and that was my I guess my eye opener at that point. Just that little nudge. Just that little comment in itself really made me want to do better in life. I started working at a very early age for one of the largest media companies doing sales. And by the time I was 23, I was designing my own home. I was moving into my home at the age of 24. And I remember going to Best Buy, and I was selecting all my appliances. All the appliances that I had chosen in my home were all stainless steel, top of the line, very expensive. And I remember the manager telling me at that point, "Well, do you want to go ahead and wait till your husband gets here to finalize the sale?" And I kind of looked at him like, "Well, what would make you think that I'm married?" And he said, "Well, you're selecting all these high-end appliances." And I said, "Actually, I'm not married, And he says, "Oh, whatever guy marries you is going to be, lucky, because everything's going to be there on a silver platter for him." And I just kind of thought, that's just not the mentality that folks should have, regarding any type of independent young woman.
When I was in the early years of my college, and I came home on a summer, and this is a family friend. We had known this family for many years. This was a dear friend of my parents. So then months go by, I come home for like Christmas break or something, and then they had evidently reconciled. He was getting back on track. He wanted to save his family. And so we started kind of socializing with them again. Now that things were better, we wanted to be supportive of them putting their family back together. So we went to dinner with them one night, and we had a nice dinner. They invited us to their new home to look at their new home and play with the kids and have a nice time. So then it was getting late, so we were leaving, and so we're going around giving hugs to everyone. And as I went and leaned in and gave him a hug, well, he kind of held on a little bit long, and he whispered in my ear, he says, "I'm looking for a mistress. Are you available?" And I was just, I just stiffened up, and I just, let go, and I didn't want anyone to see I didn't want anyone to see the horror on my face. And here there is his wife that I just love and adore, and so I hugged her, and I get in the car, and I just kind of start crying. And I was driving home with my mom. My dad was in another vehicle, and we were driving home about a 50-mile drive, actually. So I had plenty of time in the car, and I was just crying, and I was real quiet. And my mom said, "Well, what's wrong?" And I said, "I just can't talk about it right now." Well, finally, after 30, 45 minutes, I was able to talk to her about it, and I just kept going over in my head, did I misunderstand what he said? Is it possible he could have actually said that? That is so gross and so inappropriate, and it was just horrible, or did I misunderstand it? You're thinking, what rhymes with mistress? I don't know, seamstress, I'm looking for a seamstress, you just think of these crazy things because you don't want to believe what just happened. It's just, Sylvia's not a man-hater. I'm not a man-hater. People, you can identify with this book, but at the same time, we need to be able to protect our daughters and prepare our daughters for the inappropriate men, the pigs that are out there. And there are plenty. And I would like my daughter to be able to handle situations much better than I did.
If I had a wife instead of a husband, and I thought, that would be my issue. I wish I had a wife. Here's the thing. I felt, as I was reading this, I felt, seriously? Here I have a full-time job. My then spouse had a full-time job. I'd come home from work, and I had another full-time job waiting for me. The dishes, or the meals that needed to be made, the dishes needing to be washed, the laundry waiting in the laundry room, the toys needing to be picked up, preparations for the next day, for school and whatnot, and work. Just didn't seem fair to me. And I thought, this doesn't make sense. We're in the 21st century. And of course, still, we as women do not get equal pay as men do. Okay, so we're slow in going in that. But times have changed and perceptions have changed. And so do our spouses need to get on the bandwagon and realize that both of us need to contribute equally. And that means help out when you get home. Don't just, go have your 30 minutes in your cave, unwind and whatnot, but at the same time, come out and start helping.
I guess what happened to me I was in a really bad 4-year relationship. I had a boyfriend who was constantly asking me, like, are you talking to any guys at work or at school or anything. I couldn't even talk about a certain anything in front of him. He would just question me about everything. He was the type of guy that was really controlling. But at the same time, when we first met, it was that uncontrollable love that you have, that feeling that you get when you fall head over heels in love, those butterflies in your stomach, and that happy Cinderella moment, like Sylvia mentions in her book. But towards the middle or the end, it just crumbles down because you just finally realize what type of person he is and how he can treat a woman, and especially the type of person that a woman deserves to be treated, like being treated like a girlfriend instead of a piece of shit person. When I first found out that he was cheating on me, he had actually came to my house. He had a hickey on his neck, and I remember asking him about it, like, what was that on your neck? And he was, nothing, it's just something that I woke up with and it's nothing too serious. And I just looked at him and I was like, you know what, that's it. Get out of my house. I don't even want to talk to you anymore. Leave. And he left, and the next day I had work and I went to work, and I was usually the type of person when I would go to work, especially being with him, I was so excited. I was interacting with my friends. I was interacting with different customers and people, and I was so happy. I was being myself at work. But with him, I was being that type of different other person where I just didn't even want to interact with him. I was so quiet and so hurt and so upset. It was like, listen, I wanted to tell you I love you and all this bullshit that I didn't even need to hear. And it was just because I found out that he had been cheating on me. He told me that he never cheated on me. He never intended to do any of that stuff, which to me it just seems like a bunch of load of crap. It's funny because like I look back on it now and I just think like, why did I do that, you know, like why did I have to be that type of person that was with that type of person? But yeah, I mean, he makes me so happy, and he's the type of person, exactly the type of person that I need in my life to make me feel like I'm that Cinderella, and he's done it ever since, and that's my story.
Thanks for watching our documentary short. We look forward to seeing you at the premiere. Thank you.